Welcome to the Playoff of Life podcast. This is your host, Adrian Hatcher. It has been a minute, guys. We have been on hiatus for this pod since December 23rd of 2019. That means that we have not even made a pod for the new year, but we're going to change things today. I apologize for the hiatus that I went on, just putting my time and energy into other things, living life and, just having a good time. So I do apologize once again for not being able to get back on the thing that I love to do for y'all. So let's hit up the first few topics that we got. For the Playoff of Life podcast, episode 3, I do want to jump right back into the stuff that we did from the previous episode. And the first thing I want to hit up is the NBA hiatus. Due to unforeseen circumstances with the virus that's been going around and affecting everybody, we really don't have much of anything going on. Sports has been canceled across the world. We're stuck in our homes and we're watching like a lot of reruns. So that really gave me time to think on this. And I think it's actually a good thing, at least on the players' stand front. Just let me explain. For the NBA, there is a lot of time that is spent playing ball. And then there's an even shorter amount of time of preparation. And then there is probably, I give it about a month, maybe two, where the NBA players even get a break during the NBA offseason. But unknowingly, because of this virus, the season was cut super early. We didn't even make it to the playoffs, which means there's a lot of players out there that I know love to play basketball, but they don't have any outlet right now. They are able to actually relax. They're actually uncomfortable because they have so much time on their hands. And right now, they are doing the best thing for us and themselves by staying in the house and not interacting with anybody. I urge anybody that's listening to this pod to please stay in your house. Chill, watch TV, play video games, hang out with your kids, hang out with your cousins, hang out with the cousin you don't even like, and see if y'all can develop a relationship. Do the things that you haven't been able to do, or that you tell yourself every day when you go to work, I won't have the time for this later. Now you have the time. With this going on, I really implore you to learn a new skill or develop your finances, or hell, go read a book about life. You just never know what you're going to interact with nowadays. But back to the NBA hiatus, with the players having so much time to themselves. Ooh, we're not doing another take. With the players taking so much time to themselves now, I really think this is a good thing, because when the season starts, which I do believe all of this will blow over by the time of the beginning of the NBA season, we're gonna have a whole league full of healthy players. I don't know how they're going to get the draft going. I don't know how they're going to do pre-workouts. I don't even know how they're going to do the summer league. But let's say around October-ish, where usually the season starts, we're going to have a fully healthy NBA season with motivated, with strengthened, with players that like are healed mentally and physically. And I think that's a great thing to have nowadays. Any good news that comes from the NBA? One thing for sure is my team, the Chicago Bulls. Lately, they have been on a tear. And when I say a tear, I don't mean with games. I mean with their front office. Chicago fans have faced for a long time some very hard decisions. And those decisions have been made by the front office, a front office that the fan base is not very fond of. I'm speaking about Gar Forman and John Paxson, two front office individuals who, during my time as a Chicago Bulls fan, I have not had many issues with their decision making, but the fan base has, to the point where we have had multiple losing seasons, uh, little development from our players. Um, a lot of hope, but just not enough results to make that hope last. And it's led up to this moment where now people are very excited because our front office is making drastic changes. And when I say drastic, John Paxson was our vice president of basketball operations for the Chicago Bulls. And now He is no longer the vice president. He has now been replaced by a man that goes by the name Arthur Carniceros. If I'm saying his name wrong, I truly apologize for that. Even when I'm looking at it right now, I'm still struggling trying to get this name right. But I'm just going to call him the new VP. And our new VP, Vice President of Basketball Operations, is already making changes to a team that has not had changes, I believe, since 1985, which is crazy that we have given our front office this much time to have like winning seasons, and the results just haven't been there. So it's not that changes haven't been necessary, but now they're definitely being done. And that's what we really want as Chicago Bulls fans. This VP has already looked for candidates to have a new GM. Potentially, we may have a new coach leading into the offseason. Just plugging in how I feel about our coach, Jim Boylan, I don't really have too much of a problem. I don't necessarily love the offense. When I play NBA 2K with the Chicago Bulls, I struggle to score or to make like a decent play. But I mean, he did really only have 1 year under his belt. And there's also been a lot of issues with his first official season, like more than a coach should really be having with his players. And if that's like a lack of understanding on the players, then I can chalk that up to the players. But from everybody else's perspective outside of the bubble, it seems like Jim Boylan has been the issue. And I've heard from different sources and different people that I listen to on the pod and people that I follow on social media. They paint Jim Boylan as this great guy that you would love to know. He's honorable. He's such a nice dude. He's understanding. He's a real good, tough guy. But when it comes to running a franchise and running a Chicago Bulls team as a coach, he comes up shy. It's not his first rodeo. He's been an assistant in the league for years, but it just doesn't look like this is the position he needs to be in right now. Is that fair? I don't really know. You know, he only have 1 year on the job. But this is basketball. And at the end of the day, there's not much time to make a lot of changes if you want to be a winning basketball team. Basketball, especially being a coach, is built on consistency. And a lot of fan bases are not going to be patient with a coach that has so many issues just going into his first season, you know, with the star player, with the team, with the medical staff, with the fan base itself. So I wish Jim Boylan the absolute best. If he does keep his job, then hey, we will do what we have to do as Chicago Bulls fans and still cheer for this team. If there's changes to the coaching staff and he ends up losing his job and we get a new coach, I'm not gonna lie, I will be excited just because of the excitement of just seeing something new for the team. But you know, I don't necessarily want to just wish a man his job away. So that's just my take on it. But back to what I was saying, the new VP that we have making necessary changes. The fan base is very excited. I'm very excited for the Chicago Bulls. We really want to look for any type of excitement right now with the whole coronavirus going on. And I will definitely be giving updates on the pod with anything else that interests me on the NBA. So if anybody who listens to this pod is an NBA fan, drop me a comment on anchor.com on my public page and just let me know how you feel. Any questions that you want me to answer on the next pod. I continue and I will be doing this weekly with the time I have on my hands. I really can't say that I can't do this pod. So y'all should be expecting some more episodes from me very soon. So other than the NBA hiatus and the impact it's had and the Chicago Bulls, I did want to talk about something that may interest you since you're going to be stuck in the house for God knows how long. So Netflix shows to binge is the next topic that I had on the bulletin board. And I'm pretty sure everybody is associated with Netflix. I don't doubt that at all. But We always talk about what's the next best show or the shows that we don't really give a lot of love to and shows that you probably haven't heard of. If you have heard of, you haven't tried it yet. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed with the shows that I'm about to let you know about. So I believe one show that's been actually on Netflix the longest, The Umbrella Academy. Okay, The Umbrella Academy revolves around a dysfunctional family of adopted siblings, superheroes, who reunite to solve the mystery of their father's death. So, a little backstory. I was actually going on vacation to Gatlinburg in the mountains, and being in yourself by yourself in a cabin, hey, you don't really have much to do unless you're going back outside. If you're in the house though, I was really on some relaxation mode stuff, and I just binged this entire show in one day. Spent one day of my whole vacation watching the Real Academy, and I cannot tell you how hooked I was to finding out what was going on every single episode. As the synopsis says, it's sibling superheroes who get a chance to basically save the world on an everyday basis. And I don't want to really spoil anything, but like it did say, they do reunite after a long hiatus due to their father's mysterious death. And throughout the show, you'll see the father brought these kids together. He's a main focal point for the whole show. You know, he brought them together. Of course, he helped them mature as they grew as teenagers and eventually adults with superpowers, you know. And not every kid has a great relationship with the father, because you can understand a father raising, I believe it was not 8 to 9 siblings, different personalities, different, just everything was different. You kind of have to balance that in a way that just doesn't seem normal. It's not a normal relationship. But as you go through the show, that's where the drama comes from, because I believe almost every episode hits on the backstory of every single kid, and it even dives into, I don't want to spoil that for you, but there's a kid in there that you don't even get to see too much, but I can't tell you. I would just rather you check it out. So please check out the Umbrella Academy if you have a chance. It's actually really good, and you won't be disappointed. I believe it's only 15 episodes. If I'm wrong about that, shorter or longer, it really doesn't matter because you have a lot of time in your hands, hopefully. Another show, and this is actually a show that I've been watching religiously for the last 2 weeks. I watched season one of this show when it first came out. Was really interested in how it ended. It reminded me of a lot of the Breaking Bad, and I think it would remind a lot of people of Breaking Bad. And this show is called Ozark. If you've heard of this show, it's an American crime drama show featured on a married couple who are forced to relocate their family to the Ozarks community to launder money for a Mexican drug cartel. So, Mexican drug cartel, all right. Um, Normal guy who's really smart with a dysfunctional but very, let me just say he has a very, very, very dysfunctional marriage with a wife that I believe in Breaking Bad. I don't want to say she was the smartest thing. That's another debate. But in this show, I will say the wife, the women who play their roles in this show, they are featured to be very smart, and I really love that about the character. Also, they have kids, and they're just trying to make it every day while laundering money for a Mexican drug cartel. It's literally the Breaking Bad with a little bit of a twist. In this show, we do start off with a guy by the name of Marty Bird. We see him, like I said, a normal guy, and everything seems normal. But as you go, I believe just through episode one, there are so many like what the fuck moments that you'll be like, damn, is this really how this is about to go down right now? Um, and you kind of see the dynamic of a family that has to bond together to basically do these horrible things just to be able to survive, because at any moment the Mexican drug cartel can wipe them off the face of the earth. And almost every episode you're like, damn, if one thing goes wrong, it could mess up the whole operation. But we see this guy Marty Bird make really smart decisions, always trying to get his way, kind of like manipulate the situation. And throughout the show, you probably will ask yourself, man, it seems like he's getting deeper and deeper and deeper into more shit. But honestly, like, it's just great to watch. And Ozarks is going on 3 seasons. I'm actually in the middle of finishing season 3. So next episode, I'm pretty sure I'll be done, and I may do like a finale, like an Ozark finale episode. Like, how did I feel about the ending? And it may actually make you want to watch it even more. So watch out for that in the future. And just check out Ozarks. If you don't like it after maybe 3 episodes, don't worry about it, because I got another show for you. So this show is a show that is really actiony sci-fi. Will probably remind you of those old sci-fi like Blade Runner type movies, and it's called Altered Carbon. Carbon. It's set in the 23rd century when the human mind has been digitized and the soul itself is transferable from one body to the next. All right, so I recently finished this show. Altered Carbon is up to 2 seasons right now. I can tell you, I was literally blown away with so many revelations in this show. It's like a murder mystery for season 1, focused on this guy by the name of Takeshi Kovacs, and his life is incredible. Like, I know as human beings, we're attracted to people that just kind of seem out of place or out of this world. Well, you will not be disappointed with this character, Takeshi Kovacs. Uh, I really don't want to spoil it. Basically, he joins a revolution, which eventually leads us into season 1, where, like the synopsis says, the soul has been digitized. So you're basically living in this futuristic world where if you have the money, the power, and the resources, you could literally call yourself immortal. And if that doesn't intrigue you right there, then trust me, you will not be disappointed with this show at all. Just check out. Um, I'll give this TV show episode 1. If you're not hooked by episode 1 and want to continue it, then it's okay. It's okay. We got 2 more shows that I can throw out there for you to try out. But if you got a chance, check out Altered Carbon. I was not disappointed at all with that show. Next show that we got for you is Money Heist. Man, so to give a little bit of backstory on this show, a friend of mine actually introduced me to this show. I didn't know anything about Money Heist, and I was extremely hooked from day one to this show. It took me a minute to finish it because I always try to stay busy doing other stuff. But once you figure out the plot of Money Heist, it's one of those shows. It's kind of like a Ozark, like how I said, you see how they keep getting themselves in deeper and deeper like problems, and you're just questioning yourself, like, how in God's name are they going to get out of this? Well, with Money Heist, it involves 8 robbers, and these robbers are codenamed by these cities in the world, and they're led by this guy codenamed the Professor, from an external location where, kind of like the title, they perform a money heist. So these robbers, every single episode dives into the backstory, and I love that. I love seeing characters. I love seeing what motivates them. I love seeing how they got to this moment and how you can honestly believe the decisions that they make, because you've seen their past. You understand what got them there. You understand why they currently need to do what they have to do, and then you understand the relationships that they've built, because this show actually does flashbacks and time skips. So I believe in episode 1, you actually get to see how they banded together, but during that episode, they're already performing the heist itself. So if you check that show out, you already know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I really don't want to spoil anything. That's what makes this tough, because I could just tell you so much about each episode, and how, like, when I say, like, they codename themselves by different cities, like Berlin. Yo, there's a dude by the name of Berlin in the show. I went through emotional hell trying to figure out what is going on with this guy, and to see his development leading up to like the finale of just season 1 itself and season 2. Oh man, I I was not disappointed, y'all. Check this show out. Let me know how you feel. Leave a comment in the anchor.com on my public site. Let me know if you like this show, if you do check it out. I got one more show for you guys. Now, out of all the shows that I've just introduced you to, I'm telling y'all this right now. I ain't never been on the verge of tears so goddamn much. But this show Outlander, y'all, it got me feeling some type of way. Like, no cap. This show Outlander puts you through emotional after emotional after emotional roller coaster every single episode. I watched this because my dad had actually just pulled it up, and a lot of the times, just to give y'all some backstory on how we kind of live our family life, we're sitting in the living room, and my dad, he likes during dinner to watch TV. So we're like, "What you want to watch, Dad? You want to put on a movie?" My dad will put on whatever he feels impacted him in that moment. So if he's checked out a show and he's like, damn, this is so good, I'm gonna wait for the family to watch it. He'll literally pause the episode, wait till we're all there and watch it. So my dad, he found this show out early in the morning before we even had dinner. And I'm telling y'all, he immediately went to Outlander. Me and my mom didn't know anything about this show. I'm telling y'all, we watched episode 1. I was like, damn, this girl going through something. She going through times. Okay, but to give y'all some synopsis of this show, it follows the story of a woman by the name of Claire Randall. Her name, Claire Randall, very important. Okay, a married combat nurse from 1945 who is mysteriously swept back in time to 1743. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of y'all may be thinking, it's a show about time travel. Oh shit, how am I going to follow what's going on in this show? So, episode 1 gives you a little bit of backstory about Claire, gives good character development, tells her what tells you what her current situation is, her current mindset is on life. And it even gives you, which I thought was so clever, some background information that you're going to need for further episodes to understand some stuff. And that's crazy that they thought that through so eloquently. But she gets sent back in time to 1743. And of course, she's lived in a whole different time. And during this time, there's a war between the Scottish people and I believe the British people or English people. I want to make sure I get that right. But there's a war going on, and she is thrown right into the middle of it. And from day one, she is in survival mode. Like, I believe I wasn't safe with where Claire was until season 1 was over. Like, she was in that much danger almost every single episode. Even when you think she good, she ends up getting herself into situations that are so dramatic, are so impactful. It's brilliant because a lot of these shows that I just explained to you, shows like Umbrella Academy, Ozark, even Altered Carbon and Money Heist, they're not shows where you really have to think about the concept of what's going on, and you don't really have to believe that the character has to speak their way out of situations. But in Outlander, she really has to manipulate and deceive her way, like eloquently deceive her way through stuff, talk her way out of situations, knowing that the wrong word, the wrong saying, even the wrong accent can get her killed. And I love that about Claire's character, how it shows she literally gets out of situations sometimes by luck. She gets out of situations based off her previous experience as a combat nurse. It benefits her to know something about the history of 1743. And if you're wondering how she even knows history, because I know not a lot of us are historians, we don't just know what happened during this time period, at this year, at this battle. But Claire is able to go back and retrieve that information and use it to her advantage. And I was, oh man, there were so many times where I knew Claire wasn't gonna die, but I was still on the edge of my seat. Like, how in the world is she gonna get out of this? So please check that out, guys. Outlander, out of all of them, is one of my favorites to watch. I have not finished it because now I will tell you, if you want a show that's going to take up a lot of your time, Outlander is going to be that show. This show is like an hour long each episode. And when I say an hour, it's like 59 minutes, and maybe the end credits is the last minute. They pack so much into one by one episode. You'll feel like you're watching a movie, basically sitting down for one episode until it actually goes to the next episode. Y'all know how Netflix does. You ain't even got to touch the button unless you didn't watch 3 or 4 in a row, and then Netflix is like, "You sure you still watching?" Stuff like that. So please check out Outlander, guys. Those are my top Netflix shows to binge for the year. Please, 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 if you don't check out any of these, check out Outlander. That's just like my personal plug. If I gotta put some support, I gotta put some money on his. I mean, not some money, but put some respect on his name. Outlander. I'm gonna put some respect on his name. That Claire Randall is a badass, man. I love her. So yeah, yeah, that will pretty much end this segment right now. Is there anything else I really wanted to tell y'all? Yeah, I did want to make a little plug. On this podcast, I do like to talk about financial improvement. And as I improve on talking to y'all and interacting with y'all on this show, I do like to just add little things that I've found or that I've used in the last few weeks and see if maybe you can use in your daily life. With the whole coronavirus thing going on, there is a lot of time to find stuff in your home that you probably don't use that are probably very valuable to other people. For example, I love to play video games. I probably play video games at least 1 to 2 hours a day. That's a fact. Unless I am extremely busy or unless my mind has been intrigued by something else or some other matter, I will spend at least 1 to 2 hours playing video games. It's like a therapeutic thing for me. It's like a relaxation type of thing, stress reliever, whatever you want to call it. But I have so many video games that I don't play anymore. And it comes to that point where you want to play something new, but at the same time, you may not have the money. With unemployment going around right now due to what the government has instilled, I just didn't have the money. And I found an app called Macari. And what Macari does is that almost anything, you can post it. It really only takes about 2 to 3 minutes to put in some information, take some photos of what you're trying to sell, and then you put it on the market and you see on the online app if anybody's willing to buy it. The great thing that I love about Macari is that each day they're going to ask you, do you want to promote your item? And by promote, you can drop the price little by little, and you can actually set it to where dropping the price can be seen by people who have liked that item. And what I mean is, once you put that item on there, people have a chance to like it, and like it basically saves it to their page, so maybe they can buy it later if they want. So if there's nobody buying your item, or if there's nobody really like interested, you can just offer a lower price to the people who have actually shown interest in that item. How cool is that, guys? I'm telling you, this app is just amazing. I posted a couple of video games on there, sold them like that. They give you the option of using UPS. And I mean, honestly, I really don't even feel like you have to get out of your house. Okay. Selling your items is made easy in like 1 to 2 to 3 steps. If you are interested, just go on your online app store, look for Macari. That's Mercari, and go sell some stuff. They go from video games to folders to pencil sharpeners to TVs to computers to slippers to any type of clothing to posters. Almost about anything you can put on that site. And if you don't think you can, then you can always go get the Macari app and see if you can. It will let you know whether or not this item is has a high percentage chance of selling or not. So just check it out, guys. Macari is a good financial app if you want to just make a little bit extra cash during this time. I think everybody could need that right now. So Macari, guys, Mercari. Other than that, just to give like a little bit of background about what I actually been up to since I've been on hiatus with the pod. I've been doing a lot of research for some house hunting. I'm really interested in getting my own house as soon as possible. It's been a very big goal of mine, and in order to do that, I got to do the research. And I have so much fun reading that when I'm reading about getting into the rental part of housing, it just puts another gear in my step to and gets me motivated. And with all this time I've had on my hands, I've been able to really look at houses that are actually in my affordable range and things that I would have to do to make sure I get the best type of loan and just